all my crafty people out there. Last time we were working on an apron made from a shirt, and I believe I told you that we were going to make not one, not two, but 3 projects out of that one shirt. So that being said, my name is Stephanie if this is your first time here, and I upcycle clothes, generally thrifted clothes from my local stores, and I make them into something new, not necessarily clothes, and that's what we do on this channel. So if you like that kind of stuff, like, subscribe, watch along, see what you think, and let me know. So here's the idea. The shirt, we used the back of it for the apron. Oops, there goes that webbing spool. And so now we have this part remaining, which is, it's easier just to show you like this, is the front of the shirt. Okay, so we've got the front of the shirt, which, by the way, this has got potential right here, just doing something like this, but this shirt's not big enough. But anyway, I got the front of the shirt, and I have the 2 big sleeves. Well, they're short sleeves, but they're pretty wide. So we got some sleeves, right? Now, obviously, I'm not going to do a project where I put this all back together. But these are big enough for a little girl's pair of shorts. Yes, they will work. I will be adding a little bit of fabric to the top to make the waistband. And I thought I'd do it out of some sleeves I had left over from a long sleeve shirt I made her a dress out of. And these are going to be the pockets on the side of the little pants. So I haven't quite worked out all the details on that. And this is also going to be a pair of shorts. This is the back and this is the bottom of a pair of shorts for my grandson. So 3 projects, 1 shirt, and I think this shirt cost me $4.99 at Goodwill. Getting the most out of this. So let's go see what we can do. Okay, being cut all apart makes this a lot easier, and I have a video on this process from the past, so I'm not going to take a lot of time on the first pair of shorts. I am using, it's 6880, kind of hard to read because it's been ripped. It's a new look. It's just a simple little pattern that I use for shorts. I'm making some 4T shorts, and I have traced out my 4Ts a long time ago. And this is, let's see, I think this is the back. The back is bigger. So yeah, that's the back. And that's where we want our pockets. So I will put this on here. And I will take up as much space as I can. Still leave myself some room for a hem down here. And a casing up here. Kind of try to put the pocket in the middle. Feel your way around it. I've got my fan going. It's a little warm. So we're just going to pin this real quick. One day I might invest in some weights. This particular case, it needs pins because I'm trying to go over these 2 pockets. I've got the shirt folded in half, so I'm only going to have to make 1 cut for each of these pieces. And there goes my other piece. So you get the idea. I've centered that pocket in the middle of this piece so I won't catch it on the seams, and I'll have enough room on the bottom and the top for the hem and the casing. And then this one, I'm doing the same thing. I'm just going to put it as close as I can to this so I don't get caught up in this hem. This is one of the cases where I'm not going to use the hem, the natural hem of the shirt. So we're just pinning, and I'll do a better job of pinning right before I cut it, but I wanted y'all to see basically what we're going to use this part of the shirt for. And I will post a link to the video where I make shorts in case any of this is too fast or unclear, because it's a simple pair and I love this little pattern for these shorts. But there are a ton of patterns out there for shorts, and you can get them in so many, in a combination of so many patterns. So by all means, this is not special. This is one of those things where the pattern is basic. All right, now I'm gonna finish pinning this up. Actually, I'm probably pre-finished now. One more pin up here maybe. And then I'm gonna cut these out, and I'll have my 4 pieces for my 4T toddler shorts. Okay, got them all cut out, and they're turned to face me, but you know the basics. Thing I've found in the past, now these are easy to tell the back because there's the pockets on them, but thing I've found in the past, especially when I made it of the same fabric that was the same on both sides, all kinds, it could be really confusing when you were putting together. So I always made myself pick up, now these are both right sides out, again, doesn't really matter with this fabric. Pick these 2 up and put them together, and pick these 2 up and put them together, right sides together. Because the first thing we're going to do is run this inseam right here on both of them. And then once we sew the inseam together, then we'll put them together and sew the crotch line. Now I serge all of this. The only thing I don't serge is when I sew down the casing and when I sew up the hem. I even put a serge line on these so I don't have to do that double roll. So anything I can do to save some time, because I have to crank quite a few of these puppies out sometimes. So let's go to the serger and we'll start putting these together. Okay, this is gonna hopefully go pretty fast. We have our 2 pieces, front and back. Each of them is made up of 1 of each. And we're going to run this inseam first on the serger. If I can find my pedal. Where is it? There it is. And we'll go ahead and line the second one up and put it under at the same time. Take your time, make sure you've got it lined up and you don't have any wrinkles. Alright, that is our 2 inseams. Now we lay them out like this. We're going to lay them out together like this. It's hard to show y'all. And we're going to put these 2 right sides together on top of each other like that. They look really funky. I remember the first time trying to make pants and trying to figure out why they look like this. But it's the right thing, I promise. So now we're going to go ahead, and this is the crotch line. We're going to go ahead and seam it up. Start from one end and go all the way to the other. All right. Now we've got them sewn together so they look a little more like a pair of pants, like that. You see? Now all we're going to do is we're going to serge the tops and the bottoms, just so when we go to put them together, we don't have to do a double roll. Okay, we have got our shorts all put together. Didn't take us very long. This is an easy shorts pattern. It's great for kids. Honestly, you could do it for yourself. You could even use a pair of your existing shorts or somebody's existing shorts to take a gauge of how you want to cut the pattern out. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure up about 1.5 inches. Well, no, maybe 1 inch and, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, about 1.5 inches. Because I want this elastic to go through, but I want it to be, I'm going to be able to kind of stitch right on top of that serge line. So that should work. So let's get 1.5 here. Need a little more there. Anyway, we're going to iron 1.5 inches on the top. And then on the bottom, on the little legs, I usually put about a 1-inch hem. Depends on if I want them to be long or not. My brother's wife likes her little boy's shorts, like little boy shorts, short, you know. And I don't know. I've always done mine long. But I only need about 1 inch. Well, let's see. What's a comfortable hem? What is that? Well, it's almost 1.5 inches too. I guess we could do 1.5 inches at the bottom too, because these are kind of long. Let's see. Actually, let's just do 1 inch. Just for giggles. I'd rather them be a little long than too short. So, 1.25 inches. Let's split the difference. 1.25 inches. So we just iron them, and then we're going to take them over to the machine. We're going to run a seam around them and hem them and put the casing in. We'll run our elastic and be done. Okay, we're at the machine. We've ironed down our hems down at the bottom and our casing at the top. I'm going to run these hems first. Just running them around. Oh, and I've heard a neat thing the other day on some reel, somewhere, some video, something. And you know how we all like to avoid changing the thread. The thread's just one more thing to go through. Well, a lot of us will work with white and just deal with the fact that it shows. Well, someone suggested the other day that we work with gray. And gray wouldn't show in a lot of things. Well, it doesn't. It looks really good. So I'm using gray. But like I said, use whatever you want. I'm going to fast forward through these hems and the casing, and like I said, all I'm doing is going around. Of course, I'll leave an opening in the casing to put our elastic. Okay, I've got our casing done. I've got my elastic measured to my grandson's waist size with a 1/2 inch in addition, so we can sew it up. I'm using my specialist equipment here. Let me get a better bead on that. There we go. And I think I left the hole in the back. So I'm going to send this is 1 inch no roll elastic. Got to get it started. All right, these are his new shorts with the little pockets on the behind, plain in the front, and elastic top. And this gray thread, it's excellent. Now, I think it would work with more colors than this. It definitely blends in better than a white, but that's a new trick for me, because God knows I would have left the old white on there because I didn't have anything in this denim blue. So let's go get started on my granddaughter's shorts. Okay, for our final project with this shirt, we're going to make a pair of shorts out of these two sleeves. What we're going to be doing is something that's kind of like a tube, where we're going to be putting them inside of each other and sewing the crotch line. That's really the biggest seam we're going to have to worry about as far as this process goes. I've already done some prep work. These are the two sleeves that we had cut out originally. This is some fabric from a shirt sleeve, this shirt sleeve, and I just cut 3.5-inch strips and sewed them together. And why I did that is this is going to have to be the top of our little pair of pants, because when we cut these up, they're not going to be quite tall enough to be pants. So we're going to add a little fabric to the top. These are going to be our pockets. And all I did was I cut off right where, right where that button meets the arm at the opening in the cuff, but where it ends. Anyway, I cut it off right there, and then I took it over to the serger and I serged across it because there's some pleats in it, some natural pleats that are there for the expansion of the arm. So I serged over that, and what I'm going to do with this one is what I did with this. I took that little serged line and I folded it over to make a hem. So essentially I've hemmed the pocket at the bottom, so I don't have to worry about when I'm putting it on the little pair of pants, making sure it's tucked and all that. I just went ahead and did that. So, and I ironed them in half. So there's going to be a front side and a back side, so the pocket's going to go around the little pants. Hopefully this is going to work. We're going to see. All right, the pattern I was using earlier, the New Look 6880, that one, I'm just using the little 2T pants out of it to get a crotch line. You could just eyeball this if you don't have to. We're going to be using the hem of the shirt sleeve, and I'm going to push it till it meets this corner over here. And I'm making sure that it's lined up down here. Now I have folded this up 1 inch for the hem and the pants. So that's the hem. Oh, it's a June bug in my room. Well, we'll see how long that lasts. So what I'm going to be doing is cutting the crotch line out of these sleeves like that. All right, so this is all 4 of them together. I'm going to do a little pinning to make sure we don't get any movement, because it took me a little bit to make sure they were all lined up. So we're just going to cut this like here. And so now we've already got an inseam, we've already got a hem, we're just cutting the crotch line, and now we need to cut this straight across so we can add our fabric to the top, so we can have something long enough for our casing. So I'm going to move this out of the way, because I will famously cut right through that. And I'm going to make sure that my hem is lined up on one of my grid lines here. And then I'm going to just cut off all of these little pieces all at once. And just going to line it up here. And take our rotary, go right across. All right. Now, we've got some short shorts, or at least from the top. And this is where we're going to add our fabric to the top to make them long enough for our casing and everything, because this will be our casing up here. And then we'll add the pockets. So, first thing we need to do is figure out if we need to add the top first, which we probably do, and then we can sew up the inseam. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these pieces of fabric and I'm going to add it to the top up here, right up here. I'm going to add each piece to the top, and I'm going to leave it long. I'll probably put the seam where I've serged it, and I'm going to leave it long, and I can just take it off when I put the inseam in. So we're going to pin it right sides together like this, both of them. And again, right sides together with that seam in the middle. We're going to go sew across the top of this. All I did was go over to the machine and add this little top fabric to the top of the pants leg. So that's going to allow us to create a casing up there. Just needed a little more length this way. So we're going to make it cute with a little fun casing at the top. This isn't all going to be casing, so it will show up at the top. Now before we put it together, the inseam, the more I think about it, we need to put this pocket on first. So, and I just trimmed it off. I didn't trim it directly to the seam line. I'll worry about doing that when we put the inseam in, the crotch line in. So what I thought we would do, this is the way it's going to look. So I thought we would put these on either side, because once we sew this up, then this will be the side of the pants here. I thought what we do is the button would go in the front like this. I know this looks wild and crazy, but if we do it like this, then she'll have a little back pocket and a front pocket, if I can get it on here right. And I'm going to sew a seam down the side so it'll be a separate front and back pocket. Does that make sense? We're going to see how it turns out. Cross your fingers. What's the rule of thumb? Thank goodness there's 2 legs on this pair of pants or pair of shorts. Alright, I got one done, and I'll show you what it looks like. So there's the crotch line, there's the pocket, and I split it down the middle so there's a back and a front pocket. I think this is going to be cute. It's going to be easier to see when we get them serged together. So what I'm going to do now is, well, what I had to do originally was I went down the side of the pocket, and then I took it off and I went around the leg, and then I went down the side and the back as well. And I'm keeping it probably about a 1/4 inch away from the edge of the fabric. So it's just a little bit challenging to make sure you don't catch the other side, because it's not open. So I'm going to do this real quick, and then we're going to do the inseam on the serger. Okay, we have the pockets on. This one's easier to see, and it goes all the way from the front to the back. I went ahead and put a serge on the top of our casing, so it'll just be easy to fold over, avoiding that double hem stuff or double roll or whatever. So what you want is you want one of them to be right side out, and you want one of them to be wrong side out, because you're going to put them inside of each other. So we're going to take the right side one and put it inside the one that's turned wrong side out. And the reason we're doing that, it sounds complicated, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to put the two right sides together. So this is the inseam we have to stitch. So we're going to try and make sure we match our well, this is the crotch line. We're going to match our inseam that's there, that was already part of the tube. And we're going to serge around all the way around here to create our crotch line. There's got to be a better way to say that. I can't think of one. So we'll start here. Make sure we've got everything lined up. Ready for the reveal? This is what it looks like. We just sewed the crotch line in. Let's cross our fingers. I'm going to turn it inside out. And voila! We have a little pair of shorts with some big pockets, which my granddaughter is going to think is just the bomb diggity. So, and there's a pocket in the back on each side, and there's a pocket down the front on each side. So she's going to be super pumped about this. The only thing I've got to do now is make the casing for the elastic, and we're going to use 1-inch no roll elastic again. And y'all have already seen me make a casing on the other shorts. All I'm going to do is iron it down 1.5 inches, stitch it, and throw in the elastic. So I will show y'all what they look like after I do that, and we'll be done with her shorts. Hey everybody, that's what they turned out looking like. I already took the other ones to my grandson. So they got little pockets in the front. Well, they're not little, they're big. And they got big pockets in the back, and he's going to love these. So if you like this kind of content, let me know. Like, subscribe, tell me what you think, and share. And I will catch y'all on the flip side of our next project.